Hello parents and child care providers. I'm Susan Murphy from the Early Learning Coalition of North Florida. My spotlight today is the ocean. And why not, since we are surrounded by the ocean in Florida? Going to the ocean is always so exciting, no matter how many times you go. In addition to the ocean and all its wonder, it's the most spectacular sandbox I've ever seen. Here are some of the ideas that I came up with to use different parts of the beach, from the fluffy dry sand right up to the shoreline. As a grandmother and a preschool teacher, I always like to make my adventures easy to create and using as many props from Mother Nature as possible. Today I'm just using a simple small bucket to pretend that that's the beach, so you can kind of get an idea of what we're talking about. I also just brought a sieve from the dollar store because having a sieve to use with is just so much fun when you're discovering what is in the sand. It also gives the child an opportunity to use their wrist and their hand motions. It's not really for digging, it's just for sifting because we're in the fluffy sand. Also in my bucket, I brought big oyster shells from a previous visit to the shore. And I use these as shovels, and they dig in the sand so spectacular. You don't even need any more plastic shovels. You just use these oyster shells. Also brought some rocks that you can hide in there. They can sieve the rocks out as such, and they can find the rocks. And you can almost use them as a treasure chest. Let's go on a treasure adventure. I brought pennies for that purpose. If you're using these with children under 3 or 4, please closely supervise. You can put those in the sand, scatter them through. You can have the child watch so they see where they go, or have the child close their eyes. They just kind of sift through, dig, 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 shake, and we've got pennies and rocks. What wonderful treasures to find. After you're through with this and you have really played in that fluffy sand and you're seeing that you want to get a little closer to the water, we move down from the fluffy sand to the firm moist sand, where it's the no wave area. It's kind of like a blackboard area. What I like to do is put your child's initials with your finger in the sand, and then just have a whole collection of shells that are just sitting on the beach waiting for you, and have them cover their initials with shells, and that they end up having their name covered with shells, such as Susan, all covered up, or their initials. That is so much fun for the child to have some real literacy awareness of sounds and their name. It also owns their name to themselves. Also, you can use sandballs. It's moist enough that you would build a tower to maybe be as tall as your child as they sit there, and then they can knock that down. It's almost like a block effect that they're doing. So now we're through with our moist blackboard. Now we're going to get a little closer to the waves, and we go to the shoreline. I love to play digging and disappearing. I just sit down at the shoreline, wait for that wave to come out, dig, dig, dig a small hole. When the wave comes in, your child sees, the hole disappears. It's just so fun to see how many times that wave comes in to fill the hole. So you can use a small hole, one wave covers it up, a little bit deeper of a hole, 2 or 3 waves covers it up. And it really lets the child see the rhythm of the waves, and you can talk about the rhythm of the waves and what the power of the wave does. There are so many simple and fun ideas to go to the beach. But don't forget to bring back a shell from the visit to the beach. Put the date inside the shell. You can paint or marker that shell, and at the end of the year or the end of the season, you have so many memories of your ocean visits.